Yo, what's up, y'all? It is Jason. In this video, I'm going to show you how I went from being absolutely clueless to getting my first payout in just 6 months. Okay, so this isn't like a hindsight video where like, ooh, what I would do if I could go back or anything like that. This is like what I did last 6 months to get to this first payout. Yeah, so obviously at the beginning, I knew nothing. Like I didn't know what futures were. I didn't know what a prop firm was. I didn't know who this guy was. I was just at the beginning it was really just a lot of just consuming, just consuming a lot of content, comparing like what people are doing, who had like who I was really just trying to figure out, bro, who got the method. I really knew nothing. Like how do I do this? Like what's good? Just watching like whatever I could, like every how to start day trading video, um, just watching a bunch of stuff. I didn't really understand any of it at the beginning, obviously, but I was just trying to see like what I was even getting myself into, you know. Then once I got I like up here, what I dislike, I could actually go on to learning something. So at this point, I already went through everything, or not went through everything, but I just like sifted through YouTube and I found like what made sense to me or like what I wanted to learn, who I wanted to learn from, whatever. And of course, obviously, I stumbled upon TJR's boot camp. Fucking the entire population has 19 million views, which is crazy. But that's mainly where I started. So I just started with the TJR boot camp. And I was taking it pretty serious when I watched this. Like I said, I went through a phase of just consuming a ton of content. So when I got to this, I was like, okay, I'm like treat this like I'm actually trying to learn something. So I was watching. I didn't do it like day by day. I was watching like a couple videos a day, taking notes, just trying to get through this so I could like learn the language. Because before I was watching videos, like I don't know what I don't know what ICT is. I don't know what a fair value gap is. So like I'm watching these videos and I'm kind of clueless. So like once I got through this, I kind of felt I was a little bit overconfident at the time, obviously, but I kind of felt like I knew at least what I was looking at. Once I got through like just the boot camp and like some other videos that I thought were pretty useful, I was like, okay, I need to like practice. Like I wanted to like I needed to. I felt like just if I went straight to an account at this point, I would have felt like I was like going from a trial class to like a professional fight, like that, and that would have been crazy. So like, I just need to get my reps and I need to practice, and that is how I found back testing because I was paper trading. Like I would wake up and paper trade, but that just felt like I don't know, it just felt slow. Like if you paper traded before, it kind of just doesn't feel like anything. Like I can go throw 100 minis on Nasdaq right now and like it's paper trading. I don't care. But with back testing, I found that way more useful because I'm actually able to build data. So I just hyper fixated on back testing. I back tested like 3 years worth of data. Just this is just like a random screenshot. This isn't even half of it, but I did a ton of back testing until I felt confident like in my win rate and like how repeatable the strategy I was trying was. Because at this time I was still trying like everything. I was still watching like, oh, this simple strategy type videos. I was trying like an orb, I was trying VWAP strategies, I was trying whatever. Eventually, finally, like I said, once I finished the boot camp, I was like just back testing a ton of just like liquidity strategies and like the generic ICT 2022 model that everyone teaches. But even while I was back testing, I would set up back tests where it would be like a fake evaluation. So I would try to figure out like what the optimal amount of risk was or what um what asset I could be trading. Like a lot of stuff that is like kind of a simple ask. Like you can just ask someone, oh, what should I be trading? Like ES, NQ, RTY, YM, gold. But I just wanted to see for myself, so I was just testing a lot of stuff, trying to figure out what worked for me, what didn't. And once I could get a good win rate, once I could like pass the eval in back testing, that is when I moved to my first actual evaluation. But luckily, in between like this phase and this phase, I was journaling everything. Like every single back tested trade, I journaled. Every paper trade, I was journaling. Like I said, I was taking a ton of notes. So honestly, like this entire phase And this entire phase would have been like useless if I wasn't journaling. Like this is mad important. Like you need to be journaling. Because if you don't, like you're kind of just like shooting blind, you know? You don't know why what you were doing yesterday didn't work. You know, like you need to be journaling, especially while you're learning. Like take a ton of notes, journal everything, you know. I still journal everything. Like I said, this is when I got my first evaluation and I came into this super confident because like in paper trading I'm running up big balances and back testing I'm getting like high win rates. I'm doing really good. But um, it just wasn't the same because obviously in back testing you have infinite amounts of time to make a decision. And then in paper trading, there's really no pressure because this is fake money. I can just go click the plus button and have more money in my account again, you know? So it just, paper trading really didn't do anything for me, but then back testing had me a little bit overconfident. So when I got to like actually trading, I was like, why is this not translating? And actually, initially, I was still overconfident. So I think my first day on my eval was a green day, and I was like, bro, I'm about to pass my first evaluation first try. Like how do y'all blow up under the counter? This is crazy. But obviously, we'll get there. I blew up a bunch of accounts, but I was overconfident and I was getting really frustrated because at the time it was like, how am I getting these super high win rates in back testing and then getting like high balances in paper trading, but then now it's just not translating just because it's real now. You know, like this is a real thing. So at this point, I was just in a. It wasn't a long time. It was about like 2 months of me just like cycling accounts. Like I would journal, be overconfident, blow an account, think I need to go learn something new, and it just resulted in just a month and a half of just blowing accounts. And I would see slight progress. Like I would get closer to passing, or I would be a little bit more confident. And even if I failed, or I was like, oh, I'm handling losses better. You know, like there would be progression, but I still wasn't passing. You know, so at this point, like I said, I was getting more confident. I felt like my reads were good. I was kind of understanding things, and I was seeing progress. So I'm like, just like, what am I doing wrong at this point? So this was actually I don't know if this is the exact picture, but I don't know what this is. But in the end of December, I think I blew two accounts like in 2 weeks or something. Like I blew two accounts pretty close together. I'm like, let me just pause and like actually, let me go back here. Like let me try to like maybe I'm missing something. And I feel like this is a loop a lot of people get in. After a certain point, you don't need more information. Like now, I still be watching YouTube videos. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not sitting here like rigorously taking notes and trying to figure out like what's the golden nugget strategy because like it's just not. Well, now I know that's just not the thing. You know. Again, luckily through this entire process from just back testing to blowing accounts, I'm still journaling every single thing. So like I said, I go back. I learned some more things about that. What was like, what's working for me? I go through my journals, figure out what's working, what I actually like. And I start adding stuff. I don't add a bunch of stuff. Like I'm not trying to strategy hop, but I'm just like maybe maybe I don't need to just like be purely trading what I learned from the first boot camp I watched. I started adding stuff like volume profile, and I got really into inversions, like inversion value gaps, IPGs, imbalances, whatever you want to call them. I got really, really, really into inversions, and when I started adding these things to what I already knew with just like basic market structure and some of the stuff I was just watching at the beginning, plus like core ICT concepts, and now really focusing on inversions and volume profile and auction market theory. Maybe I need to stop trying to copy and paste this like to a T and actually build a system that I trust and stick to it. That's the important part. Anyone can put together a hypothetical strategy that has a super good win rate. I was I was getting 78% win rates with just like TJR boot camp and some org videos. Like, you can anyone can put together a good system, but sticking to it is what really matters. So that's what I did. And once I found, like I said, the things that worked for me, inversions, volume profile, and then just using market structure and ICT concepts to read price, I was able to put something together that worked for me. And then once I was executing this consistently, I just immediately saw results. So, like I said, the end of December, I like took a break. I remember December I took a break, and at the beginning of this year, um, I bought one account with Lucid, blew that one pretty quick. I'm not even gonna lie, blew that one pretty quick, but it's because I was risking a lot, so I was pretty confident what I was doing. So I immediately got another one, passed that one in 2 days, and then 7 days later, I got my first payout. Like this is just the start. Now I'm actually doing the thing. Up until this point, I was just collecting data, consuming content, taking notes, and spending money on evaluations. Now that I have like some type of actual like tangible proof that like like I'm doing it. Like I can do the thing. Like all I needed to do was put together a good strategy and stick to it. Or not even a good strategy, a good system and stick to it. And now we can actually use this to build this into something significant. And even though this is like a smallish payout, like we all know the stats. Most evals don't get passed. Most people that pass evals don't get payouts. And overall, 1 to 7% of overall traders who start challenges end up seeing a payout. So even the fact that I'm able to get a payout in this short amount of time is not like, oh, this is impressive to me, but like this is just it's just really nice to actually see tangible progress now. And like I said, now we can use all of this just to build these into something pretty significant. So yeah, that's been the last 6 months of my life. Like I said, I've been like super hyper fixated on this. I don't think this would have been a 6 month process if I wasn't like back testing every fucking day, watching and taking notes. Journaling. That was probably the most important thing out of everything. But yeah, overall, like the most important things I would say, like at the beginning, just consume a bunch of content, figure out like what works for you, what you want to learn, study it, journal a bunch. You don't need to do like a ton of back testing or a ton of paper trading. Like just journal a bunch, and then if you can get an eval, go from there. And this is what you want to avoid. You don't want to get stuck in this loop. So like when I hear people have been like unprofitable for years, I feel like this is where they get stuck. Just blowing evals, thinking they need more information. Once you find what works for you, fixate on that, put it together into something that works for you that you can do every day, and then go from there. But again, like who am I to take advice from? Just got this first payout. This is just the start. Um, yeah, I'm not trying to yap too much. That's pretty much it.